Greetings. Welcome to TFT Tarot for Today. Divine Dabblings with me, Oberon, and it's my outlook on the emotional exchanges. And it's my weekly reading that tells us what's going on with our romantic and or relationship life. So we're going to get started here in just a minute. And of course, this is for the week of the 29th of April till next Friday, that's the 5th. All right. And we use the Final Rose Tarot, which is a new, beautiful deck. It was created specifically to be a tie-in with the dating bachelorette show that's popular in the reality film area. So the images correspond to the tarot, but maybe in a unique, a little bit more obviously romantic application for each and every card. But it is a beautiful deck. The Final Rose Tarot. You can look that up if you're interested in it. And we are glad to use it here. So normally, as I have said, this is a card reading for the entire Zodiac, each sign, and I pulled two cards. The first card is, of course, the card that considers your good vibration for the week. And then the second card would indicate maybe what your bad trip for the week is, the kind of perils or situations you might want to avoid, the things that bring not good vibrations, but bad vibrations. Okay, so we are working for the Zodiac, but we do order the cards through their elemental association. So I try to cut them as evenly as possible into the respective piles. Use my trusty magic wand. Air, fire, water, and earth. All right. So starting at the top of the Zodiac, it's Aries. For this week, Aries has the Ace of Swords, Ace of Mirrors, fresh meat. So it seems like maybe the situation from the idea of relationships would concern an undertaking that's beginning where maybe we are trying to establish ourselves in a relationship. Maybe there's a certain competitive aspect here. I'm not sure that this applies to anybody that's already in a relationship, but maybe it could. I mean, maybe somebody is trying to be more forceful in an established relationship for any number of reasons. So that's kind of interesting. But now we're going to take a look at the bottom of that deck for the Aries. And that will be the bad vibration. And it's another sword card. It's the Four of Swords, Four of Mirrors, reversed. It's the reassuring rose, but it's reversed. Well, I guess I feel that this means that maybe this new direction you thought you were moving to advance on will probably not be the right decision. It seems to me like you're moving to this decision, but it's not going to work out for you. You're moving to this challenge, to this opportunity. You may find that there's nothing really there for you on the relationship or romantic level. If you're already in a relationship, It could be saying that maybe something new that you were planning in the relationship, saving for a trip or something like that, is not also working out either. All right, for Taurus. Taurus has the reversed Five of Swords, Five of Mirrors. I'm sorry, I said it was reversed. Whoops. And it says Tattletale. Well, I don't like to see this in any kind of reading, let alone one about relationships, but the reversed Five of Swords is indicating that there's a lot of strife, a lot of tension. Maybe there's attacking, cruel words, cruel actions in a Taurian's relationship. It sounds like it's probably a relationship you already have. It's not a new one you're trying to start off with. That would not be a good idea to do that. So this is probably the week to try to forgive all transgressions and to convince others, that maybe they should forgive your transgressions as well. Taurus, you need to be a little bit magnanimous and not appreciate the idea that, it's always your way. I know sometimes that can happen. So then what is the bad trip? And the bad trip is the Ten of Swords, upright, rejected, so it may be, despite all the situations that are going on that maybe you're trying to be bigger about or that I'm advising you to be bigger about, it won't really matter that there's some house of hearts that will be coming down, perhaps. Someone who maybe will feel that the relationship is over and that they will find they have to really look maybe a little bit promisingly towards what comes next, what light may still be there. So that's pretty bad. I think there's really something bad in relationships for Tauruses this week, and it may affect those who already have a long relationship. I'm not saying this goes towards a divorce. I obviously can't say that, but this could be saying that there's going to need to be some healing within ourselves and within our relationships for Tauruses. So then now we take it to the Geminis. And they're a little bit luckier here. They get the upright Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Rings, the First Date. So I think that for Geminis, they are starting something, and maybe they are looking at it totally as a little bit of, speckle and glitter and delight. It seems like there's a good energy that involves maybe good material things happening. So maybe little gifts, like taking somebody out for an ice cream. Maybe that's even applicable to your own basic ongoing relationships at this time, primary or otherwise. We're just starting off with this great era of trying to show appreciation for what we have in our lives or what we're working on having in our lives. So then what's the bad trip? And the bad trip is the Tower upright. It says sent home. The bad trip for Geminis, perhaps, is that in relationship problems, there may be things that they didn't understand and that maybe there were transgressions that they didn't understand they were making or that were being made. And that somehow we find that there's really a big change coming for some of us. Maybe it's about lessons to learn, considerations to understand. So it may be that you will find a better fate in knowing what you did, Geminis. And now Cancer, the water sign Cancer. And Cancer has, as their good vibration, the Fool, the contestant, the protagonist. That you, Cancerians, really are, in a way, starting all over again, or paraphrasing that old John Lennon, Yoko Ono song, it'll be just like starting over. You are on the beginning of a new thing. Even if you're in a relationship, something is happening that is changing the dynamics, and it really is all about adventure and dynamic experience. Maybe within relationships, some click has happened. It could just be as simple as saying, hey, we really feel like some of the COVID situations have turned the corner and life is renewed again. People might want to consider having children when for the last couple of years they wouldn't dream of having children. So it could be anything like that. If it's about new relationships, maybe you're really finding that there's plenty of adventure out there for finding something new when you're experiencing, the thoughts about finding romance. So then, water sign Cancer, what would be your bad trip this week? What would be the thing that could be possibly bad? And it gets no worse than another major arcana, number 6, the Lovers. Can never quite get that the gilded edges to shine right, but it's reversed. Lovers reversed. It may be saying you're going to have a time deciding the right course of action. You will probably not even make good choices. This could be about established relationships in terms of maybe mending some wounds, healing some wounds. Maybe there's been some friction in your current love life, and maybe this will continue because you're still not quite coming to terms with everybody's issues. But it could also apply to new dating too, saying that you may feel really you're out of your league. Like maybe there's just been some sort of great change in dating, or at least that's how it's perceived by you, and you're not finding that maybe all of the ways of moving into romantic relationships is working for you, the protocols of new dating or the choices or how we make choices. Good luck to the Cancers. And now we're back to fire signs Leo. And we have the major arcana of the Magician, 01. It says the producer. So for Leos, this is very true. Leos are the people who maybe within all of their situations, romantic or otherwise, are totally able to effectively order and control so many aspects of their lives. And so you are the magician, especially in your romantic life, whether it's one you already have, whether it's just relationships in general. And I might add that all of these card readings can apply just to normal friendships and relationships, though it tends to be more towards the idea of more romantic style relationships or truly deep bonded relationships. But this is saying, really, Leos, you have the power. You really could effectively remake your world or further it quite well. So what is the bad trip? The thing that could actually screw you up. And it's the reversed 3 of Wands, 3 of Roses. It says the next destination, but it's reversed. I think you may find that despite all of your charisma, willpower, creativity, belief in yourself, confidence, you are still at the whims of fate sometimes, and that if things aren't working out, you may have to find a way to retool or redo your plans. And in relationships, this may mean you have to consider some things that maybe you screwed up, maybe some assumptions you made in relationships, or maybe the way you behaved in a relationship. Maybe you said things and didn't realize you turned somebody off. It could be a lot of different things, but Leo, you have really the smarts and the ingenuity to figure it out, and that may be what you end up doing for the most of the week. Thank you. And from Leo, we move to the earth sign Virgo. And Virgo has, once again, another ace from us, the Ace of Wands, first impressions. Virgos, this is a week for you to really capitalize on your actual natural charisma. Something is aligning with your purpose in either furthering relationships or having special things in your relationships, or in seeking new relationships, whether they're friendly, leading to romance, or actual into the dating game. This is really saying you have the power to be highly charismatic, highly involved in newness in the relationship. You're just bringing great energy here. So all systems are go really for Virgo getting into relationships or taking them to another level. So what's the reverse of that? What is the bad trip? And it is the reversed Knight of Cups, the hopeless romantic. Virgos, maybe there's a credibility gap here. Maybe people are perceiving you as being clumsy moving towards your relationship. Maybe they're not understanding you're being driven by some energy and charisma. It could just be really that it's a side of you that maybe some people don't understand, and they don't feel you're quite right about how you're doing it this week. So I'm not saying it's a total washout for Virgos in romance or relationships, but it almost looks like maybe it's a perceptual thing, like maybe somebody is thinking you're trying too hard, you're going too fast, something like that. This may or may not be the case, but if you are listening and if this resonates to you, then you may have to consider, your strategies, or wait till next week and see what happens. And so from Virgo, we move to the air sign Libra. Libra, 8 of Rings, 8 of Pentacles, the camera guy. Okay, this is about skills here. This is about knowledge. This is about how we are furthering our goals and ambitions by that. And so I think you could say that for Libras, this is a period maybe of observing, learning, and maybe some amount of working with what we understand about relationships. Maybe it's the new dating thing once again, or maybe it's something else. But I think we're maybe taking a more measured and studied approach to how we're moving in our relationships, what we're trying to do with them, whether it's new relationships or whether we're working on the old ones. We're trying to really work from a level of knowledge and skill. Okay, so then Libra, what's happening with the bad trip for you? And the bad trip is the 9 of Roses upright, meeting the parents. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I guess that's being used as an allegory here. But this could be saying really that in terms of what you're trying to bring to the table, you're still sort of not quite in position, or you're still sort of trying to hold your line in some respects. 9 of Wands energies maybe saying we understand we still are working on this, and that maybe we're at a momentary sort of stalemate of sorts. And so I'm thinking this could be what's going on with Libra too, is that despite things, something is still sort of not quite working for us. It's kind of what I said a few signs back about how, I think it was Leo, we're totally in possession of our skills and stuff, but the energies or other people's, energies or involvements around us are kind of holding things at bay. So it could be better luck next week, as they say. So from Libra, we now move to the water sign, Scorpio. And Scorpio has the Three of Pentacles, the Three of Rings, the group date, and it is usually with this card all about the teamwork. So maybe saying that Scorpios really are understanding that maybe some of the relationships that they have that are within a network of relationships, it's what they want to work on harmonizing and synchronizing. So this could apply to people who are already in relationships, maybe just sort of moving a little bit outward into some group events, just to say it's been a long winter, it's going to be a nice spring and summer. Let's try to focus on having our resonances relate and support each other. And it could be the same thing for people who are involved in various levels of datings or other relationships too. So it could be various community events, maybe it's church events, maybe it's co-workers, groups, things like that. We're just trying to resonate to us as a community support group, things like that. We only have, the best goals in mind for this. So Scorpio, very nice and teamwork of you. So what's your bad trip? It's Temperance reversed. Keep it chill, it says. And well, it doesn't work exactly very well with that first card, because it is suggesting maybe that this is a work you're cut out for in a way, because there's probably a lot of people with maybe not exactly good chemistry. And it's kind of interesting that we have a drink there. But it may be that, some of these drinks don't always suit everybody's taste, as they say. And so what you may find is that despite the idea of trying to create, community support or family groups, people's emotional resonances and relationships, working with everybody, but maybe there's something that's putting it off here too. Everybody's been cooped up for a long time, and so maybe people aren't really ready to totally lag back into it. I'm not so sure about that. It does seem like a moment of caution there. So now we're going to move to Sagittarius, the fire sign. And Sagittarius has the Six of Cups upright, the butterflies, it says. And I think that's saying really Sagittarians maybe, it's not so much about deep relationships or bonding. It may be more about what's going on with our childhood memories and how they fit into today. So it may be about people from our past, family, friends, former co-workers, teachers. It doesn't have to be very long ago, but maybe this is the week where we're really resonating towards those feelings and those people. Maybe we're going to meet some of them, or we're going to seek some of them out. Maybe some of us already have these kind of situations where we really are bonding to people we've known from our past. All right, Sagittarians. So then we're going to move to the idea of your bad trip. And it is the Six of Rings reversed, So it's another 6, how ironic or otherwise. And that's like the 6 of Pentacles. It says quality time. And maybe it's saying that not all of these situations will really feel great. Maybe some of them will feel draining in a way, because maybe we do have people who have such different relationships with us that sometimes there's only so much of their emotionality that we can take at a time. I'm trying to say it as delicately as possible, but sometimes some people we're bound to be in rapport with them, but maybe we need to, moderate that quality time. All right, so then Sagittarius, we move to Capricorn. And Capricorn has the King of Rings, that's the King of Pentacles, the jeweler. It says, I think Capricorns are really feeling secure about their relationship, secure maybe about new relationships if that's happening, but maybe mostly secure about the relationships we have and the way we can express our love, devotion, our care, our friendship, mostly by making people feel comfortable, whether it's in material ways or if it's in security ways. But I think Capricorns are vibing that way now about how they give pleasure and enjoyment by sharing those things, making people feel secure and in foundation. So then, Capricorn, what for you is your bad trip? And it's a 10. It's actually the major arcana 10, the Wheel of Fortune. And so we have that destiny as reversed. And it looks to me like maybe there is some uneven cycling, bad luck, bad things possibly occurring in our life of relationships. It may be bad luck mostly. It may be mistiming in things with relationships. I'm looking at the first card and I'm wondering if it could mean that maybe some of the ways we try to be generous or be giftful to others is misinterpreted and maybe causes a bad reaction in the emotional sense. So that's probably what I have going on there. So just be careful and as circumspect as you can with some of these relationships. So now we're moving to Aquarius. And Aquarius has Major Arcana 17. The Star. I think there's a large sense of opportunity here, emotionally speaking. You, the Aquarians, maybe it's really about not so much about anything to do with relationships so much as just celebrating the fact that you have that status that you want, whether you are a lonerish person who has few or no friends, or whether you are the life of the party, or you're engaged in situations that would attract you to or involve you with large amounts of people or differing amounts of people. You really are in the magnanimousness of celebrating that, celebrating the luck, the destiny, the hope of everybody. Your bad trip, however, is the reversed Knight of Swords, Knight of Mirrors, the Meathead. Well, it could be that there's going to be somebody who just misunderstands where you're coming from and doesn't see this as an unconditional kind of humanitarian focused, it's Aquarius, right? Venture into relationships, and they may feel like they're that you're clumsy about it, or that you're intruding in some way. So you may have to tread carefully with exactly how you do those things. It could be that this is applying to actually some of your own romantic or relationship issues at this time for this week or so. The idea that you're just blundering, or you're creating more division. You know, maybe somebody that's in a relationship with you doesn't agree with how you're trying to extend yourself in this manner. And so this may cause some amount of mixed feelings there. I'm not sure. I don't know how heavy that is, but it looks a little bit. And then finally, we're on to our last sign of the zodiac, Pisces, the water sign. Ho, ho, ho. And you get the Hangman, to be continued. Ha, ha, ha. So cute. The cliffhanger. So for Pisces, it seems like you're at a stalemate of sorts. You're not ready really to emotionally give up or change or alter something, maybe in respect to another relationship, a primary one or another one. If you would apply this just to people you care about in general, it could relate to any number of social situations, groups of friends, groups of coworkers who are friendly after work, people who are friendly in the same religious settings or worship. So it could be saying there's something going on and you are just not ready to do it, but it sort of feels like there's a pressure and urgency that could be happening. That's that cliffhanger aspect there. So what could possibly be wrong, maybe, that's connected to that? And it's the reversed world. 21, it says the fans. And I don't think I'm going to apply this to people in general, but this is just maybe saying, Pisces, there may be this situation that you're looking at in terms of your actual world, and how there's difficulties or changes, or that there's just things you want to work on. I mean, a lot of times when the world is reversed, it really could also be about how you're viewing your level of success, and mostly feeling you still have something more to do. And in the way of relationships, this could be saying that you do want that pause that the cliffhangers bring in. You do want maybe to have some time to process and go through this, because it really could seem like maybe you're not getting the perfection, or you're not getting exactly what you want. So that's what I have for all of the signs of the zodiac for this week in Oberon's outlook on the emotional exchanges. I'm going to remind everybody that we are here tomorrow with happy hour. We didn't have it this last week because we had a wonderful live event. Hope to have more of those in the future. So happy hour at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then on Sunday morning at 10 a.m. it's Banshees Material Matters. We'll be live in the chat room for that. And we have a nice little crew share the thoughts of the reading. Get to know everything that's going on in your financial views and world. And then Sunday later at 2 to 4 p.m. it's our regular live stream show where we throw some cards for each and every one of you, and it's general readings or specific questions. We also use the Lenormand cards to kind of coincide with that. So please like this, support us, follow us on Twitter, Facebook. We're doing new things on Instagram. We're just out to conquer the world, you know, but we're doing it with love. All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.